readers, it's Sasha, and today I'm going to be talking about some of the most exciting releases for the month of June. So I was going to do an end of the year really excited, most anticipated releases video, but I was looking through June and I literally got so distracted by June's books. They all looked so good. So there was no way that I was going to pick out of them. I just figured I would just share the top 10, I guess, most exciting, but I couldn't narrow it down any further. So I guess we're only doing the month of June. So we are going to go in order of publication. So the soonest to the latest. This is expected publication. Things can change very quickly. So it's possible that this won't be exact, but as of the time of filming, this is when the books are expected to be published. So we have to start with To Love the Brooding Baron by Gentry Flint. This is supposed to be coming out June 4th. This is about a main character named Arabella who is looking for love, but there have been very few men that have ever matched her energy. She doesn't have many options, but she can always rely on one of her brother's friends. He is the Honorable Lord Northcott, or the Brooding Baron. He's admired her for so long, but he's never said anything. But he can't start a relationship with her because he has an old family secret that could cause a lot of issues if it were ever brought to light. Arabella is determined to show Lord Northcott that life is worth living, and she's determined to take him on a journey and explore his world with him and just experience life together. I love a good romance, as most of you may know, but this one for some reason just piqued my interest a little bit. Obviously, I love the Brooding Baron. That's always fun, but there was just something about the description. Arabella just seemed really interesting to me, so I can't wait to pick this up. Next, we have The Wren in the Holly Library by K.A. Lind, and this is also coming out June 4th. This book centers around New York City, and 13 years ago, monsters came into New York City and completely destroyed the city. Because of this, a monster treaty, so a truce, was created. But Kiersey, our main character, is actually about to break the treaty, but she doesn't realize it. She's going to be breaking into a library which houses one of the monsters, but she doesn't know that the library houses the monsters. The monster is charming, he's alluring, and he knows a talented thief when he sees one, aka Kiersey. She ends up making a bargain with him, and things start to go from there. I can't wait to read this. I don't really know what this is going to entail other than the fact that there's a bit of a monster romance situation, but it kind of sounds fun. Not gonna lie, and the cover is stunning, so all of those things combined made me pretty jazzed about picking this book up. Next is The King's Witches by Kate Foster, which is supposed to be coming out June 6th. It is 1589, and the Princess of Denmark and the King of Scotland, King James VI, are betrothed. But she has to pass a trial period first, so they have to be wed for 1 year, and she has to prove that she's worthy of his love and of his kingdom. If she lacks in any way, she faces permanent exile to a convent. She promises to be perfect until she meets a mysterious man named Lord Henry. Kirsten Sorensen is a lady's maid, and she has her own motives for wanting the marriage to be a success. And finally, there is a young housemaid on another side of the country named Jura who flees her master and journeys to Scotland only to find herself caught up in the witchcraft hubbaloo. She finds herself caught up in the witchcraft hubbub, which has not only taken the city, but it's been taking over the kingdom and the new queen. And it's just a whole situation. Historical, witches, dual POV or multiple POV. I love this. I'm really looking forward to reading this. It just piqued my interest right away. I'm such a sucker for a good witch story. I love witches. I think they're so interesting. And every piece of fiction I read with witches is always just top tier.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
So I'm really looking forward to this one. Next is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. This is supposed to be coming out June 11th. If you know anything about me from the last few videos since coming back to BookTube, I am an Ali Hazelwood girly. I do love a good Ali Hazelwood romance where she just writes about a woman in STEM falling for a man in STEM. It's literally the formula is the same every single time, but it works. So let's chat about this one. This is about Rue Siebert, who is a successful bioengineer at Klein, which is a big-ass company. Her life isn't perfect, but it's good enough for her. She's happy, she's living, she's content. However, a hostile takeover of Klein has caused a little bit of tension in her life. Eli Kilgore wants Klein, and he wants it badly. He's a man who gets what he wants. The only thing he has not gotten what he wants is Rue. And Rue is our girl, our main character. So he's been pining. There's pining after her. He's been pining. Need I say more? So Rue is torn by loyalty and her attraction to this super hot STEM boy. So she is like, okay, let's start an affair. So they have an affair and they don't tell anybody because obviously it's not going to look good for her to be dating the guy who's trying to take over the company, and it's not going to look good for him if he's dating one of the lead biotech peoples in said company he's trying to take over. But then real feelings get in the way and things happen as they do in books. Literally don't know what else to tell you. That sounds great. Next, let's chat about The Forgotten Name by Mario Escobar. So this is also supposed to be coming out June 11th. We're going to do a bit of a switch because this is definitely a heavier book than the Ali Hazelwood book we were just chatting about. So this is based on a true story about a woman who risked everything in her life to reunite about 120-ish Jewish children with the name that they had to forego when they were fleeing Nazi-occupied France. So it starts in 1992 in France, where Valerie Potherot is doing her, that's definitely not how you say the name, by the way, is doing her thesis. She's a law student, and she finds this mysterious list of names. There are 108 names on this list, and she finds out that during World War II, when France was Nazi occupied, there were Jewish children that ended up fleeing under different names. So they essentially were living in France, but then gave up their identity, started fresh as these like French kids, and stayed in Paris, stayed in France, but under different identities. So this woman sets out on a 25-year journey trying to reunite each and every child with the name that they had to leave behind. This to me sounds so powerful. I love World War II historical fiction. I've never understood why I love it so much. I think it's because it's the war that I know the most about just from learning about it in school. But this book it's a part of the war that isn't talked about. Did we know that there were 108 children that had to lose their Jewish identity and completely move forward with a new identity, a new culture? For me, that's just, it's another layer of the war that I never knew about. So hearing about this story and finding out that there is now a historical fiction based on a true story about this, it's really exciting to me for my reading enjoyment. Every single World War II book I read, I feel like has tugged on my heartstrings, and I just really look forward to this one. On a bit of a lighter note, the next book is All Roads Lead to Rome by Sabrina Fettel. This is supposed to be coming out June 18th. This is about a girl named Astoria, nicknamed Story, and she knows literally everything there is to know about Rome. Her mother is an attorney there. She lives in a nice area with her. However, she's about to go off to college in the fall when Story is in the wrong place at the right time, or the right place in the wrong time, depending on how you look at it. She ends up in this fake dating scandal with a super hunky heartthrob who is Scottish. Essentially, they're trying to protect his actual relationship with the pop star by starting this fake relationship rumor with this, like, nobody, essentially. What does she get from this? Because honestly, I would need something to go along with such a crazy ordeal. Probably. It doesn't take much to entertain me or to please me, so I might not. But she does, because Luca agrees to open a scholarship fund in her father's name, and her father had passed away, so this is a huge deal for her. Being in this heartthrob's life makes life a little complicated, and things start to get blurry. What is real? What's not? What feelings are we faking? What feelings are we not? And it's just a cute, fake dating, summer love story, and I am a sucker for all of those words. All of those words separate mean nothing. All of them together mean magic. Next is a book that hello, Plum. Next is a book that I'm honestly iffy about, if I'm being okay. Next is a book that I'm iffy about, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, because this book is Do you just love looking at her butt? Isn't that just wonderful for everybody involved in this situation? Plum. Hi. Could you come here? Okay. Hi. So this one is called The Calculation of You and Me, and it's also supposed to be coming out June 18th. And it's by Serena Kaler. This is this is so bad. Plum, I'm so tired. Why are you ruining this? But also making it so fun. Okay, this is This is manageable, I think. So Marlo Thompson is not your average high schooler. She understands a lot of things. She is great at math. She's great at school, but she's not the best at love or romance. So she ends up falling for this guy, and this guy falls for her, and they get together. But he ends up breaking up with her because he's looking for somebody that's a little bit more romantic, a little bit more empathetic. So she gets paired with this guy. Hi. So she gets paired with this guy in an English project, and he is... And he's kind of the polar opposite of her. He's in a band. He is, not a math dude, not a math bro, but she ends up finding a secret stash of love songs, and they kind of make a deal. She agrees to create an algorithm that helps promote his band and guarantees his band's success, and he agrees to help her write love poems and love notes, essentially. But as they are growing together and learning together, obviously things happen. It's a young adult romance. You get the gist of it. This is my everyday life. We are cuddle buddies constantly. I just didn't know she'd be all up in my grill for this video. Next is Bloodguard by Cece Robson, and this is supposed to be coming out June 24th. Everything in the Kingdom of Arrow is a lie. Leith of Grey thought that fighting in the gladiator competition would secure some money to help his family, but it didn't. Instead, he became hopeless. It broke him. It destroyed him. Leith ends up meeting Maeve, who is an elven royal who pretty much stands for everything that Leith hates. However, she offers him a chance to earn his life back and the title of Bloodguard, which means he is free. To me, a good kingdom story is always fun. I, for a while, did not think I was a fantasy girly, but fantasy is the genre that I rate the highest in my life. So clearly fantasy is doing something right. So I have to give this a try. Oh, I have so much hair in my mouth. Oh my God, Plum, you've killed me. This is the end. Next is Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren. This is supposed to be coming out June 25th. I would not be true to myself if I didn't put the Christina Lauren novel on here. That would just be not me. Ren is 22 years old and she has lived in a homestead for most of her life. She has not done the quote-unquote normal things that women her age have done. When she finally achieves her lifelong dream of going to college, it feels like her life is finally beginning for the first time. Meanwhile, Fitz has his journey all planned out. He is wanting to graduate from college, he is wanting to erase his criminal past and just live his life as the hunky rich boy that everyone wants him to be. And he's doing that until Ren comes along and she changes everything for him. Because in one of their classes, a surprise something happens that ends up making them go on a road trip together. And I love a good romance where it centers on a road trip because you are in forced proximity. You have to make friends. You have to be nice to each other. And if you're not, then it's just also so fun for me still. I love a good romance. Or no, I love a good road trip. So I'm really looking forward to this. And I love Christina Lauren's writing. This author duo has absolutely devoured my life over the past 4 years now. I guess whenever I started reading them 3-4 years ago. Love them. I haven't read all of them, but I've definitely read some. And honestly, love them. Finally, the last book that I want to talk about is We Shall Be Monsters by Tara Sim. This is also supposed to be coming out June 25th. After her sister's sudden death, Kajal promises to bring her back. No cost is too great, even if it means, unfortunately, taking her sister's soul out of the chance to come back and to be reincarnated. As Kajal prepares for the resurrection, her sister's soul turns into a Bhuta, which is a violent, wraith-like spirit that's hell-bent on revenge. With each kill, the chances of her sister's soul being pure and remaining unscathed are just slimming and slimming and slimming. Because Kajal did this, she's locked away as a witch. There's witch. We love witch. However, 2 strangers come in and break her out, and they tell her that they will set her free as long as she promises to resurrect the fallen crown prince and usurp whatever power is currently holding the throne. She's desperate. She rushes to revive the prince. She ends up reviving the wrong person. And then they have to work together because now they have this Bhuta who is working still through a long list of revenge plots And then they have this power on the throne that they have to usurp. And then they have these two strangers that are now quite upset that their crown prince wasn't resurrected and it was just some guy. This is insane. This book is probably the book that I'm most excited for, so I'm glad we're ending with this one, because honestly, what the hell? Like, this is insane. This sounds so freaking good. And the cover is so beautiful. Like, I would want that on full display. I want that tattooed to my face. Like, it is just such a beautiful cover. I want everything. I want it to be a part of my life. I want it to be a part of my everything. So I can't wait to read this. I have extremely high hopes for this. So it better not let me down. That is everything. Those are the 10 books, I think, that I'm most excited for in the month of June. Obviously, I can't do this every month because some months are just going to hit a little different than others, but I'm really glad that June was able to hit so good for me because it gave me something to do for a booktube video for me coming back. So that's pretty fun. But honestly, I'm so excited. I can't wait for all of these books. Each of these books feel like they could do something different for me, and I'm excited for all of them and what each one is going to entail. Let me know in the comments below what book you're most excited for in June, if it's one of these or if it was a different one that maybe I didn't even know about. That would be great. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. I do post once a week every single Wednesday. And until next time, bye readers!